your wreath, your ribbon and your mesh, and your components, whatever you want to do in it. Okay? First, you have to fluff out your wreath. And you get everything fluffed so you can work well with it. Okay, once your wreath is ready, you take your mesh, and I prefer to just drop it on the ground. And you gather at the very end, and then I like to take my ribbon and run with it. Okay, then you take your first center and you twist it in. Okay, then you come down and gather your mesh and poof it up, and then tie into the next one.
It's all about the poof.
It's all about the poof.
The point is the poof.
Okay, then you come down again and tie again. And then you will repeat this step all the way around the center. What I like to do is I still like to take the last loop and put right on the same level, just so it completes the center, because otherwise you would have a little hole. Then you do the same, and all you have to do is move down to the next level. Just go at a slant and tie the same way. And fluff out. And remember, ladies, do not make your poofs too big, because then you'll run out of product before you can get to the end.
And you're tying off those poofs with 2 sprigs of the wreath, right?
That's correct.
All right.
We're playing the elm at the store back right.
Okay. When you are finished, just take your scissors and cut off the excess. Okay, and there you have
Look at all those beautiful poofs.
the mesh form. Okay. And I am actually going to take a second ribbon and add to it. Okay. And you'll basically take it and do sort of like you did the mesh. Just take it, and I just take one tie and twist around it, so that still leaves you some to do other stuff with. And in my opinion, it wouldn't be, I like it better if you go like kind of back and forth across the wreath with your ribbon instead of going all the way around, so it still gives it the look.
So you kind of zigzag it, like the inner and then the outer?
Yes, you just sort of kind of zigzag.
So you're going from the outer to the inner. And
Okay, now when you finish with your ribbon, you just cut off the end. start with your next component. I am actually going to use a vine. Which you have to pull apart. Because you don't want to use the whole thing because then it just looks a little too massive and messy.
Looks a little overgrown.
It does. Okay, so I just bent the end so it just gives it a little more of a base to tie in. And actually what I'm going to do is tie this around the actual metal part of the wreath.
The inner or the outer?
Well, I'm going to start with the inner. And just wrap around. Okay. Now you have these long vines. And I'm just going to take it and twist. Okay. And so that way it gives you a curl. And then I'm going to take about the middle of the curl and tie into the wreath. So that way it doesn't look too formed.
And you're just going to keep repeating that step around the inner portion of the wreath.
Yes, I am. I'm going to do it probably about 3 times.
All right.
Okay, and this is my final one. Putting in, and by the way, what I did is actually use 3 pieces at a time in 3 different groups. So when you're done, that's the way it'll look. But I mean, you can add more if you like. I just kind of like to leave this looking a little sparse.
And what could you do with the rest of that garland once you get done? You could wrap it around them.
Well, the rest of the garland you can take and maybe wind into a bowl with like some Easter eggs, or or put it on an Easter basket.
Leftovers to make a bow.
Okay. Now what I'm about to do is just add a happy Easter sign in the middle. We're going to make this an Easter wreath. Okay. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ties and use it to tie it down. And kind of try to get it tight because you don't want it to flop.
Like floppy bunny ears.
Yeah, like floppy bunny ears. Okay, and I'll just kind of simply just place it in the middle, and now I'm just going to fluff the mesh up around it so it looks like it's in there. Okay, and then actually if I had Easter eggs about this time, I would be adding Easter eggs to it. But what I'm going to do now is add some butterflies instead, just to show you how you can tie other things into it. So,
those have clips on them.
and these actually do have clips on them, but whenever they have stems or anything, you can just easily take it and tie it and wrap it around the stem, and then kind of curl your stem around the twig itself as well, so it'll secure it in there. And then just fluff him out. And you can strategically place your butterflies anywhere you want. And I'm going to put this last one at the top. And then when you're done, here's your finished product.
Wow, that is adorable.